Are you looking for love? Are you looking for me? Are you looking for something to set yourself free? So if you're looking for love, turn on the phone or TV, because here I am. Are you ready for love? On lockdown.
Hey all you cool gods and goddesses, it's that time of the week. Open your mind and fill your heart with love. Here's the angel that does it all for you, our mother's firstborn son, Cupid!
Okay, and away we go. It's me, Cupid, from Love on Lockdown, and boy do I have a whole lot to talk about this week, as you can imagine. I've been absolutely dying to get at you with this election stuff, but first, before we get into all that, let's talk to the goddess of all things to come, Danny the Magic Junk Drawer, and see what kind of energy we're looking at this week. And just to let you know, I'm not going to run this into the ground, I just love this very much. One more time, just one more time, and then we're going to be done with it. Okay.
Danny? Danny.
Hi Cupid, I'm here with this week's energy read. So the energy for this week will be the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is full. This is the cup of love. Love is pouring out of the cup. We have love at every turn. All kinds of love is around this week. It's an excellent week to connect to people, places, things, activities that we enjoy and that we get a lot of fulfillment out of. Enjoy the week.
Thank you, Goddess, and if you want to see more of Danny, go to the links here I provide, and you can see her pretty much every day, multiple times a day, streaming live. She's one of the hardest working goddesses in the biz, no doubt. Alright, now it's time for the headlines, and real quickly, I just want to get a couple things out of the way before we really tackle this election. So very fast, Sunspot AR-2781, shooting flares at you like crazy, and maybe potentially there's even some more sunspots that are forming on the far side of the sun. And what's important about this is that when the Carrington event knocked out the telegraph and caused a bunch of geomagnetic storms and what have you, that came at a time of high sunspot activity like we're experiencing now. So, something to keep an eye on. Also, we have this comet coming in, Atlas, here real soon, which is electrically charged. We'll be diving in here and we'll see what kind of effect that has. And also we'll see what happens with the trucker strikes, supposedly on November 29th. And as I previously predicted at my prior job, I told them that you were never going to go to a sporting event, another concert event, none of those things unless you have your vaccine or proof of vaccine. Ticketmaster says I knew exactly what I was talking about 6 months ago. You will not be allowed to do anything through Ticketmaster unless you have a vaccine or proof of a vaccine. Boy, it's going to be like Nazi Germany before we can believe it. Papers, papers, papers. And last but certainly not least, I don't even know why I'm going to do this because I hate this song and I hate this band. It's Christine Lagarde. She wants to adopt a digital currency. So guess what? Just like that terrible song by Orgy said, she dreams in digital because it's better than nothing. Now that control is gone. That's another song, sucks. Yeah, because you're going to be dreaming in digital, you're going to be paying for stuff in digital, you're going to be basically living in digital. You know who's going to love this? The baby boomers. They love the internet and computing so much, like they're really good with that stuff, so a digital currency and a digital wallet should be very easy for them to transition to. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch, isn't it? And don't worry, the perks to this is that all the cash is gone, so you don't have to pass on the virus, and then there won't be any prostitution and drugs on the streets anymore. And then my absolute favorite, you'll never lose your wallet again. Well, unless the power goes out. Now it's time to cover everyone's favorite 2020 Royal Rumble, better known as the 2020 election. Since I wouldn't even know where to begin, I think the only place to start is at the beginning. A long time ago, unfortunately, in a galaxy not far, far away at all, Donald J. Trump entered the wrestling ring, put Vince McMahon in a massive headlock, dropped him, went on TV and said, your ass is fired, and then came out in 2015 and told everybody, them Democrats, them all sons of bitches, they're rotten crooks, you need me. Oh, excuse me. You need me. And so he drudged on and caught the world by storm, and wouldn't you know it, he didn't win the popular vote, just like I said he wasn't going to win the popular vote this time because he didn't win the popular vote last time, so why would you think he's going to win the popular vote this time? So why would you think the Democrats are worried about him getting the election and win the election to the popular vote when he didn't win the popular vote the first time? But the Electoral College put him in, and everyone accepted it and went right along with it. And by 2 a.m. the next day, he already declared victory, and Hillary herself even conceded. So we had our man, we had our guy leading the way. So trumpets opened the book of Revelation and we drudged on. And he made a good stop over in Saudi Arabia, and him and his Saudi Arabian buddy put their hands on the world because they got the whole world in their hands. And just to let you know, documented fact, hijackers from 9/11, Saudi Arabia. And then he drudged on, never making any arrests as promised. And then we got to the second term election where everyone was like, we need to get rid of the Democrats because they're all crooks and they're all fakes and they cheated everything. And then we went to the election and we said, hey, these guys don't play fair. What? And so now what we'll do is we'll argue back and forth because no matter what happens, it will be a stolen election. So you have two choices. You can A, sit out the drama like I've been telling you to, because it doesn't fate well for any presidents on the Great Conjunctions. It just doesn't. So why would you expect this time to be any different? Or you can keep getting wrapped up in it, that you really had some sort of control over this. Because what happens is you go to the polls, you come home, and you sit in front of your TV, you see a number, and you go,
yeah, yeah, that's what happened.
Now, if we all got in a room and we all actually looked at the votes and stuff, I would do it. But I don't because of the reason that you don't want to now. Because you say, hey, my vote just got stolen. Yeah, because it's all rigged, like we've been trying to tell you. So now, one side or the other is never going to accept the results. We're going to have the same outcome like the conjunction has told us we're going to have. So believe it or not, America, you're going to get what you want. And clearly, you want a vaccine that's rushed, that's only 90% effective at best, because that's what you do as a parent, right? Is to your teen daughters and sons, you hand out condoms that are 90% effective. And even 90% effective, okay, so still 35 million people in the country that can contract this thing, then you're going to want to hold another vaccine for that, right? You're going to get exactly what you're asking for, and that's a whole new system, because you're going to say, this system sucks. We need a new one. And they're going to say, hey, guess what? We got one ready for you, all fired up. And it's this.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
Well, when we have the vaccine, we have the military all lined up, and the military is going to be doing it in a very powerful manner.
And then you say, yeah, that's what we want. Just admit it to yourself for once in your life. Own up to something, would you? Gosh, I wish you would. Don't expect anyone to save you or do anything when you're making choices like this, all right? And as we continue on this path of separation, just wanted to point this out. You see plexiglass between these people? Saturn is doing what it does best, separating, and I mean, look at this. That's what we all asked for. And once again, I am outvoted because I didn't want this. I said we need love, people, not cornholing Saturn. But hey, I'm ready for this war, are you? It doesn't matter if you're ready, because we're here. Here we go. And now we're going to talk about the
Dummy of the Day.
This week's Dummy of the Day is Barack Obama. And in case you're unfamiliar with him, he is the former and 44th President of the United States of America, who was elected twice by a country being the majority of white people. He said people elected Trump because they were spooked by a black man in the White House. Congratulations, Barack Obama. Dum-dum, you're Dummy of the Day. If you spend too much time with the trash, then you'll turn into the trash. Who's got time for that when I got all this laundry to do? Meet Kamala Harris. She wasn't shit till a white creep came along. I'll show you what I mean. This was 11 months ago. Remember, no one cared about her.
It is with deep regret, but also with deep gratitude, that I am suspending our campaign today.
Yeah, right, no one cared. She couldn't get the funding, she wasn't popular, and then a white creep came along, and now everyone says, hey, we want that woman. And I'm sorry to kind of poo-poo on your parade, but she's a politician, so I don't trust her, especially when she wants to criminalize parents and has criminalized parents. What do I mean? Take a look.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
And isn't that funny? We want to criminalize parents for not sending their kids to school, but now if we send our kids to school, we're pretty much criminalized as it is. Isn't that funny? And this is a true story. A lot of those kids over in California had sickle cell anemia, and so they were too exhausted to go to school, so the parents kept them home. And she said no.
Right to jail.
But she's sad and she regrets it.
That where in some jurisdictions, DAs have criminalized the parents.
Right.
And I regret that that has happened.
Oh, you can stuff your sorries in a sack.
Yeah, it wasn't your intention, and no one can prove it was. But isn't it funny how your actions lead to something like that? Here she is flip-flopping like all politicians do, saying that it depends on whether or not she would take money from big corporations. And she even said, I know that's not the answer you want to hear, but then got a little bit too much backlash and said, you know what, no, I'm going to go ahead and say on record that I'm not going to do that. And this is my favorite part about her. She sounds just like Obama. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make Wall Street pay for everything. We're going to give Medicare for all. And just like him, when a reporter asks, how are you going to pay for that? Let's hear her response.
So taxing Wall Street will reap $30 trillion in order to cover this?
What we're doing right now is unaffordable.
Did that sound like the answer to that question? No, because she doesn't have any idea, because she's a politician or puppet. But you can believe what you want to. Here's a prediction, and we'll see if we can revisit this. And all the women can give me an apology, and I will do the same for you. In 4 years, if we're still standing, nothing's going to be any better with her in there if it really does indeed become her. Does anybody apologize really these days or own up to anything? Absolutely not. And that's why we're going the direction that we're going. Hell no, we're going to all go down. We're going to the last thing I'm going to do is admit I'm wrong. So we are all going to suffer and we're going to glorify it the whole way down. No. This is totally how it's supposed to be. Like, it feels right, everybody. It feels right. Like, to me, this is how it feels like it's supposed to be. This all makes sense. This is the way it has to be. We're just not prepared to see it. That's all it is. We're supposed to separate from everybody. We're supposed to live in fear. We're supposed to all dress like Muslims. We're supposed to do that. Like, duh, we're all one people. We're all one world religion. We're all one world government. That's what we need as a new system.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
It must feel good enough to keep on this path, you know what I mean? Oh, thank goodness, just in time. That means it's time for tea. T being Tina from TinaHeals.com, here to give us some planetary messages this week. So let's see what we can expect.
Hi guys, welcome to this fresh segment of Love on Lockdown. This is Tina from TinaHeals.com, the goddess of healing. So today I have some very, very special planetary messages for you. Let's see what Spirit wants us to know. Look, it's the 9 of Wands. And I mean, it's all about us feeling all battered and bruised and tormented by what's going on in the world and what's going on inside. The Spirit wants you to know everything will be okay. Have love in your heart and have patience.
You and I just use a little patience.
Remember, patience is invaluable. So hop over to my website and check out my work. And don't forget to watch me on Cupid Show Love on Lockdown. Ta-ta.
Thank you, Tina, goddess of seduction and healing. If you got a problem, she'll heal you. TinaHeals.com. Now to lift our spirits is the young Michael Myers, Daeg Faeric. He's got a new song out called I'm Busy Now. Let's check it out.
I told you, I'm a busy bee. I be busy, I'm dapper, I'm rapping, D-A-E-G. That's me. And I'm great. Bitch, what's at stake? I put some dick and some rice on your plate. She told me I'm hot, I said, knew that. Baby got a fat ass with a new tab and some apple bottom jeans. I said, oh gee. I told baby leave, she ain't making me no cheese.
He's always busy. And why don't you go see what he's busy doing and check him out at these links below. Thank you very much, Daeg, and we'll hear more from you next week. Oh my goodness, that storm sounds close. That means it's time for the weather with ancient goddess of love, Kiara Rose. Now this week we are just going to forget about the weather forecast because this is just too good. This is the most succinct, articulate, concise explanation of why the woman is being oppressed, repressed, suppressed, controlled that I think anyone is going to hear. Let's listen.
Down with the patriarchy.
Patriarchy move. You know, you got to keep the woman away from a connection with her own body, with ownership of her own body, because if you don't control that, you can't control the womb, and if you can't control the womb, you can't continue to control the world.
I also wanted to make a point that as we all know, we are spirits encompassed inside this fleshly shell. We encompass this body and so forth, but our spirits have nothing to do with Marxism or communism or anything else.
Now, does it kind of sort of make sense why there would be some sort of desire to control the woman? If you look at the Georgia Guidestones, maintain humanity at 500,000. Well, how would you do that? By controlling the woman who creates, yes? If you want to see more brilliance and beauty, then you go to KiaraNation.com. She is Big Bad Mama's son, and I am a very proud mama's boy. And oh, and by the way, you can see me featured on her channel next month. See, that's me. She says I'm hilarious. It makes my heart flutter. Well, hope you got some big balls because you're going to need them for this segment and what's coming up here soon. It's time for sports. In dodgeball news, School of Hard Knocks, lesson number 1. Always protect the solar plexus. And in triple jump news, looks like someone lost count. Finally, in the high dive, looks like a case of cold feet. Looks like they're having second thoughts once they got all the way up there. Now it's time to show you something you saw before it happened. In tonight's You Saw Our First predictive programming segment, we're going to take you back to the mid-90s to a movie called Black Sheep. Who cares about the plot? Let's just take a listen to how Hollywood was trying to warn you about voter fraud all the way back then and even before. But we'll stick to the mid-90s. Take a listen.
1048 to 834? That's 1,882 votes. There's only 1,502 voters up in Garfield County.
And you're hearing that a lot lately, right? They're even saying like dead people are voting and all this shit. Yeah, all that, right? And they've been trying to tell you it's all rigged, but hey, live and learn. We gotta move on or I'm just gonna go ape shit. And I think the best way to move on, oh yes, who's there?
Rusty Floorboard.
Please welcome comedy cowboy Rusty Floorboard, the cousin of Tony Viagra, the gangster of comedy. Tony will be back in a week when he learns how not to make surprise visits. Until then, let's hear some jokes from his cousin.
Yo, Cupid! Cupid! Where the f are you, Cupid? I'm Rusty Floorboard, the comedy cowboy. I just saw a new commercial for Pacifico Beer, the beer for people who know their path. Well, what if you don't know your path? What should you do? Drink Iron City?
Show him what a man is. Drinking his iron, not a bunch of airheads sitting around on a beach.
Iron City Beer.
It's a bird thing.
People who follow their path. Well, what if I go home on a path after I get shit-faced drunk on Pacifico Beer and fall and hurt myself? Can I sue Pacifico Beer? And how about Captain Morgan's rum? Calling all captains! Calling all captains! What are they doing? Calling for the captain of the ambulance squad? I've been wondering, how many times do you get shit-faced drunk on Captain Morgan's rum and piss your pants before they'll promote you to captain?
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
And there's Dos Equis beer. Stay thirsty, my friend. Who the f wants to drink a beer that wants you to get dehydrated? What are they gonna do? Give you Dos Equis IV?
And to see more from Rusty Floorboard's cousin Tony Viagra, go to Facebook to check out more. I think now would be a good time to talk about the goddess of humor, Carol Johnson. And congratulations to Carol for winning a competition recently and proceeding on to the finals. And to see how she got there, let's check out the highlights of one of her older appearances.
And I know now why it's called menopause. It's because my hormones have hit the pause button. And every day I'm a little closer to becoming the man of my dreams. I just really can't wait till I can tease standing up. It's gonna be a great time saver, am I right, ladies? No more standing in those long lines for me. And I realize I may look okay on the outside, but underneath my clothing, starting to look like the earthquake map of California.
It looks bombed out and depleted.
And this was my favorite part, whenever all of a sudden she started growling at the audience and beatboxing, but the crowd ate it up.
Thank you guys so much. It's been really a great show. Namaste, my ass. If I have to do one more downward dog, I swear I'm gonna bite someone's leg. I'm already turning to my mom. I need reading glasses. I constantly wander into rooms and I can't remember why I'm there. And every once in a while now when I walk, I fart.
And that's why she won. And so here we go in the finals. Best of luck to you, goddess of humor, Carol Johnson. We'll be pulling for you and we'll also be watching. Now, who's Creep of the Week?
Hey, you guys want some cookies?
This week's Creep of the Week is... Jeffrey Epstein. That's right, just gonna keep bringing him up because he's a terrific guy, according to one presidential candidate. And then he's best friends with the Clintons because Bill Clinton, documented fact, was on the plane several times with Jeffrey Epstein, right? And so Clintons are best buddies with the Obamas, and the Obamas are the best buddies with the Bidens. So everyone's connected to that clown. Just making sure you don't forget that. Now let's get to our last comic of the night and our closer, Sandy Bernstein, the goddess of one-liners. Here's a pretty damn funny segment about divorce.
So this is my second marriage.
Surprise.
Surprise, I am divorced. Is anybody else here divorced? Okay. Anybody here wishes they were divorced? No, my ex-husband Tom had a midlife crisis. He said, marriage ought to be a renewable contract. And I was like, huh? Well, gee, I've been feeling that way since the first time we had sex. I've been wanting to bring on new players. Yeah, finally, after all these years, we actually agreed on something. Now, he said he wasn't satisfied with my performance. I said, how the hell do you expect me to perform in under 30 seconds? I mean, that's not even enough time for me to get my legs open all the way. I mean, I have a stronger relationship with my vibrators. So, I did not renew that contract. I got me a quarterback fresh out of college. He had a strong arm, lots of stamina, and he loved to stay in the pocket. Yeah. He knew how to go deep when necessary. You know, he was definitely a franchise player, but I thought I needed to scout a little further, so I hooked up with a wide receiver, but that didn't work out because he was too wide for me to receive. Yeah. Listen, I should have bailed when I saw the tattoo on his penis that said choking hazard. But rest assured now, I am married to an age and size appropriate man. So as a matter of fact, next month on October 4th, we will be celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary. So give it up for us. Thank you.
So to see more of the Goddess of One-Liners, go to Sandy Bernstein Comedy on Facebook. You'll be laughing in no time. All right, the end of the show, so that means it's time for the caption contest. And this is a pretty funny story about this week's caption contest. The winner comes to us from Carl in Tennessee, and he says, "Hey, where's the picture, dipshit?" Yep, and rightfully so, because once again I got a little ahead of myself and I completely forgot the picture. All right, everybody, here's the picture for this week's caption contest, and you know the rules around here. Have fun. So, where's the picture, dipshit? Is very deserved. Thanks, Carl. You win. But now I remember. See, because I learned from my mistakes. Here's the picture for next week, and remember, everybody, have fun. Send your caption and love to me, Cupid, at loveonlockdown@yahoo.com. Well, that's the end of the show, I guess. And just in case you're wondering, hey, where are all the chemtrails? I ain't seen them recently. I'll tell you why next week. But now, time to sing you out. And I think this song is very appropriate because being the god of fire, you know, the god of the fire of your desire, it just kind of makes sense. Spotted me while I burst into flames. I've had enough of the world and its people's mindless games. So pardon me while I burn and rise above the flame. Pardon me, it'll never be the same.